This continues our discussion about adding and subtracting with the rules. And so we're adding and subtracting integers with the rules here. So we had started this example in our last lecture. So we had gotten to the point of having the absolute values, and the fact that they're opposite signs means that we're going to subtract the numbers and we're going to keep the sign of the bigger one. The bigger one was 3/4, and so we're going to be keeping a positive sign out here. And then the next thing we do is we do our subtraction problem, subtract the numerators, and keep the common denominator. And then of course we know that this is a positive, which you all know we don't actually have to write, but I'm going to be thorough. And then we see, oh, 2/4. We can't leave it like that. This needs to be reduced. So we know our GCF is a 2 here. So we're going to take out that GCF of a 2 by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 2, which leaves us a 1 in the numerator and a 2 in the denominator. And there's our final answer. All right, moving right along to our decimal problems. Now with decimals, the first thing that we should probably do is recall that when we add and subtract decimals, the most important thing is to line up the decimal places. So just remembering that, I'm going to be showing these in terms of vertical columnar addition. So the first thing I do is I'm going to write the absolute values. The absolute value of a negative is a positive, or a value without a sign, 0.52, and the absolute value here is a 3.8. Now because these are the same signs, right, same signs or like signs, I'm going to be adding these two numbers together. So I'm going to actually show that over here, and then I'm going to do my addition in columns. So I have a 3.8 and I have a 0.52 that I'm going to be adding together because they are like signs. And then I'm also going to show what I'm going to do when I'm done. When I'm done, the second step is keep this common sign. So I'm going to put the negative out here. So I'm going to add them up, and then I'm going to keep their common sign. So I'm going to put over here 3.8, and I'm going to put in a 0.52 in columns so that you can see this addition more easily. Now up here I'm going to put in a 0 to hold the place. Remember, this 0 is something that we call a non-significant digit. It doesn't do anything to this number. 3.80 is the same number as 3.8. It just holds a place value for us. And then I can add in columns. So 0 plus 2 is 2. 8 plus 5 is 13. I carry the 1 over here, the decimal place comes down, 1 plus 3 is 4, and there's my answer. And now I can go over and I can finish my problem, because once I've added this, I see that I have a negative, and then the sum of those two decimal numbers was 4.32. All right, now going along to the next one. In the next problem, what we see is that we have negative 256.8 and 27.38. So the first thing I'll do is I'll get my absolute values. So 256.8 is the number without its sign, and 27.38 is the number without the sign over here. Now I saw that I had a negative sign and a positive sign. That's different signs, so I'm going to be subtracting them. And the way that I'm going to be subtracting them is I'm going to have the larger number minus the smaller number. So it's going to be 256.8, which is the larger number, subtract the 27.38, which is the smaller number. And I can't write that there, so you're just going to have to believe me. And then once I have that done, I'll be attaching the sign of the larger. 256 is larger, so I'm going to be attaching a negative sign. Now I hope I don't run out of room on this. So when we subtract integers, the same thing as before, we have 256.8, and then we're subtracting 27.38. And here again, we're going to want to fill in with this 0 here. But with subtraction, that 0 really matters, because 0 minus 8 is not the same thing as 8 minus 0. So we'll borrow, making this a 7, and carry that over there. 10 minus 8, which is 2. 7 minus 3, which is 4. Decimal comes down. 6 minus 7, can't do it. Have to borrow. 16 minus 7, 9. 4 minus